Picture this: London, 1971. A city buzzing with energy, but beneath the bustling streets, a secret is brewing. A secret so audacious, it sounds like something straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. This is the story of a plot to steal £1 billion worth of gold from the very heart of the British financial system, the Bank of England. It's a tale of cunning, ambition, and a near miss that would have been the heist of the century. The Bank of England, known as the Old Lady of Threadneedle Street, isn't just any bank. It's the central bank of the United Kingdom, a fortress of finance holding a significant portion of the world's gold reserves. Deep within its subterranean vaults, thousands of tons of gold bars are stacked high, a glittering treasure worth an unimaginable fortune. In the early 1970s, this fortress became the ultimate target for a group of thieves with a plan that was as brilliant as it was bold. So, who were these masterminds? The plot wasn't hatched by hardened criminals or international spies. Instead, it was conceived by a group of seemingly ordinary but very clever individuals. The central figure was a man named Sid Ross. Ross wasn't a professional bank robber, he was a businessman, a radio electronics expert with a sharp mind and an eye for opportunity. He had a knack for seeing vulnerabilities where others saw impenetrable security. He assembled a small, trusted team around him, each with a specific skill set crucial to the operation. The plan was astonishingly simple in its concept, yet incredibly complex in its execution. They weren't going to storm the gates or blast their way in. No, their method was far more subtle. They planned to go under. Ross had discovered that a sewer system ran remarkably close to the Bank of England's vaults. The idea was to tunnel from the sewer directly into the vault, bypassing all the guards, alarms, and reinforced doors on the surface. It was a classic tunneling heist, but on a scale never before attempted. The prize? An estimated £1 billion in gold bullion. Adjusted for inflation, that's a staggering sum today. The first step was meticulous research. The team spent months poring over old city maps, sewer plans, and architectural blueprints of the bank. They needed to know the exact location of the vaults, the thickness of the walls, and the composition of the ground they would be digging through. They walked the streets of London, not as tourists, but as surveyors, discreetly mapping out their route from above ground. Every detail mattered. One wrong calculation could mean digging into the wrong place, triggering an alarm, or worse, causing a catastrophic collapse. Their entry point was to be a leased property nearby. From the basement of this seemingly innocuous building, they would dig a shaft down to the sewer line. Once in the sewer, they would navigate the labyrinthine tunnels until they were directly beneath their target. From there, the real work would begin, tunneling upwards into the floor of the Bank of England's gold vault. This required specialized equipment. They acquired thermal lances, powerful tools that could burn through concrete and steel with intense heat, and sophisticated drilling gear. They even had a two-way radio system to maintain communication between the diggers and a lookout on the surface. To finance this expensive operation, the gang needed capital. They allegedly carried out smaller-scale robberies to fund their grand project. Every penny went towards buying equipment, renting properties, and sustaining the team during the long months of preparation. This wasn't a smash and grab, it was a long-term investment in what they believed would be the ultimate payoff. They operated like a startup company, with Sid Ross as the CEO, meticulously managing budgets and timelines. As the plan progressed, the team began their dig. It was grueling, dangerous work. They toiled in darkness, surrounded by filth and the constant risk of detection. The noise of their equipment had to be carefully managed to avoid alerting anyone above. They worked in shifts, digging inch by painstaking inch through the dense London clay and foundations. The air was thick with dust and the smell of the sewer, but the thought of the glittering prize just feet away kept them going. They were getting closer. According to the plan, they had successfully tunneled from the sewer to a point just beneath the vault floor. The final breakthrough was imminent. Imagine the tension, the adrenaline. They were on the verge of pulling off the most spectacular heist in history. The gold was almost within their grasp. And then, everything fell apart. So, what went wrong? How did this meticulously planned, brilliantly conceived operation fail at the final hurdle? The answer is as surprising as the plot itself. It wasn't a silent alarm or a vigilant security guard that foiled them. It was a completely unrelated event that brought their underground world crashing down. In another part of London, a different group of thieves was busy with their own heist. This was the famous Baker Street bank robbery, which took place in September 1971. Those robbers also tunneled into a bank vault, and their communications were accidentally picked up by a radio enthusiast named Robert Rowlands. Rowlands alerted Scotland Yard, leading to a massive police investigation. The Baker Street job made headlines and put every police force in the country on high alert for tunneling robberies. Suddenly, the unique method that Sid Ross and his team believed was their secret weapon became the #1 threat on law enforcement's radar. The police began a systematic check of all 750 banks in the City of London and the West End. They were looking for any signs of tunneling, any suspicious activity, anything out of the ordinary. It was only a matter of time before they honed in on the Bank of England. The increased scrutiny and police presence around the city's financial district made it impossible for Ross's team to continue. The risk of being caught had skyrocketed overnight. They were so close, yet the Baker Street robbery had inadvertently shone a massive spotlight on their covert operation. With heavy hearts, they had to make a difficult decision. They aborted the mission. They abandoned their tunnel, their equipment, and their dream of a £1 billion payday. The police eventually did discover the tunnel leading to the Bank of England. They found the thermal lances, the digging tools, and the elaborate setup. But the thieves were long gone. For years, the full story remained a secret, whispered about in criminal underworlds and police circles. The Bank of England, understandably, was not keen on publicizing just how close it came to being robbed. The sheer audacity of the attempt was almost unbelievable. Sid Ross and his crew were never caught for the Bank of England plot. They simply melted back into the shadows, leaving behind one of the greatest what-if stories in the history of crime. They had the plan, they had the skills, and they had the nerve. All that stood between them and £1 billion in gold was a stroke of incredibly bad luck, another crew's heist capturing the nation's attention at the worst possible moment. The 1971 Bank of England gold robbery plot remains a testament to human ingenuity, ambition, and the fine line between genius and failure. It shows that sometimes, the biggest obstacle isn't the security system or the thickness of a vault wall, but chance itself. It's a story that has all the elements of a thriller, except this one was real. And it serves as a chilling reminder that even the most secure fortress in the world is only as strong as its weakest point. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more incredible true stories. See you next time.